ruining my day. Oh, Wayne signs the ball.
He signed the ball.
Everyone's in but me now.
And he signed a bottle of his wine for me, and it says, the best athlete on Entourage.
So I have a moment. I also am a fan of Gretzky. I have a moment where I look to my friends to be happy for me that I hit this shot for Wayne Gretzky.
Now he's turning this into me being a hater.
Dylan's halfway jealous because, he's a real golfer. And
I wasn't jealous. I was psyched for you, bro.
I didn't feel that. Doug.
Well, you know what? Because I bogeyed that hole. I hooked it into the left woods there. So I was just thinking about my own issues.
So we go to the next hole. We go to 11 and I'm hitting first. And as I tee it up, Gretzky steps out and he's looking at his bag and I fucking shank one into the bushes and I quickly tee up another ball before he can see it because I didn't want that to be my follow-up shot. And Doug is like, hey, did you see that, Wayne? Connolly just fucking shanked one into the fucking... I was like, Doug, shut the fuck up, right? So now Doug and I are kind of at each other, right?
I didn't even notice that.
This is why Kevin's a brilliant storyteller, because 75% of that true, but the part where he likes to be happy for his friends. He's abusing me the whole day in front of Wayne.
Did you not say that to Wayne Gretzky?
I 100% said that to Wayne Gretzky. But what you've
left... Not 75%. You 100%.
I said 100%. I didn't say 1,000%. 1,000,000% I said that to Wayne. What he's left out is him and Wayne are making fun of me together. And do you have nerve-wracking when you're not a golfer to have Wayne Gretzky there and this jerk-off is fucking yelling shit at you? So anyway, that happened, but it gets worse.
So a few days later... Adrian and I are meeting Doug and another writer, Allie, at Mastro's just to kind of talk about our season storyline. Okay? And at some point during that, the golf thing comes up.
At some point. Connolly is desperate to bring up his fucking 120-pound hole out. He wants to talk about it no matter where we are, which is fine, by the way. That's great. But then he's talking about my golf game. I'm like, Kevin.
You're never going to be good, Doug. It's just not getting the cards.
And by the way, this is how guys like us are, because I have a Mark Wahlberg ping pong story where he threw a racket at my head, and if he denies it, I'll swear on my life because it happened.
Mark threw it at your head?
Threw it at my head.
You know the spiral staircase, Dylan, at Mastro's? Like when you're up top?
Yeah.
You go and there's that blown glass.
That's where the neck thing.
So Doug was in front of me, right? He was walking down the stairs in front of me, and I whispered into his ear, I'm like, you're never going to be good, or something like that, right? After a very tense dinner. And he turned around and he fucking grabbed me by the throat. As hard, he lifted me off, he was lifting me off the fucking ground, right? We get in the car, and now I'm driving home.
How did that diffuse,
the cars came, we got in the car and drove away.
But you let go and then...
Yeah, he didn't want to go to jail for murder, so yeah, he had to let me go.
I think Adrian half-stepped in.
Exactly. Adrian, whatever.
Adrian fought you guys off.
We get in our cars, and Doug calls me and says, I'd like to apologize for my part.
By the way,
and you're like, what did I do?
By the way, I had just started therapy, marriage therapy, and they were telling me that the first thing you have to say is you apologize for your part. Connolly there was none of his part. He had nothing to do with it, but
I'd like to apologize for my part in that incident. I'm like, what? Is there another part that I don't know about?
So let's get back to 3 and give me any last thoughts you have on that.
Well, we finally get into the green room. I had a great scene with Debbie Mazur, who's a great friend. I worked with her on The Doors.
Episode, right?
I worked with her on That's Life, and that was her first episode. Great scene in there, and that's when I get called out by Kimmel. And that was a great moment.
Yeah, it's just, it gives Johnny drama. You love him, and you root for him, and you feel it.
And when he walks out on that stage, he almost does a pre-victory before victory is even a thing.
Early victory.
Because I go out and I do one of these things,
Anyway, this was fun, man. It's getting easier and fun, and it's always great seeing you guys. So that'll do it for Victory the podcast. I'm Doug Ellen at Mr. Doug Ellen.
Kevin Dillon at Kevin Dillon Official. Victory.
Bam.